If you're in the market for a water heater, what you really need is something that just works, no surprise shutdowns, no weird temperature swings, and a price that doesn't leave you wondering whether you could have gotten more for less. You've probably already scoped out a few options and maybe even stared at a bunch of spec sheets that promise 6.6 gallons per minute, condensing technology, and low NOx emissions. The problem with those lists is they sound impressive until you actually hook the unit up, try to run a full-size shower, and discover you've either overventilated your garage or are now paying more on propane than you expected. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I spent a few days digging through forum threads, Q&A sections on retailer sites, and a handful of homeowner anecdotes about tankless propane units before I settled on the Noritz NRC66DVLP. The biggest hesitation I saw from potential buyers was the fear of a complicated installation, especially the requirement for a dedicated venting system that uses Schedule 40 PVC. That's a genuine concern because unlike electric models, a propane tankless heater needs to exhaust combustion gases, and the whole indoor label can feel contradictory. On the flip side, people who already have a propane line in their basement or utility room often cite the endless hot water as a game changer, meaning they never have to wait for a tank to recover after a load of dishes or a marathon shower. The real question is whether those benefits outweigh the upfront effort and ongoing fuel cost for your particular situation. Let's start with who should really consider this unit. If you already have a propane supply in your home, say a bulk tank or a small 120-gram cylinder, and you're looking to replace an aging 40-gallon tank, you're a good fit. The NRC66DVLP provides 6.6 GPM, which translates to a comfortably hot shower for 2 people, or a simultaneous dishwasher run and sink use without a noticeable dip in temperature. The indoor-rated design means you can keep it out of sight, tucked behind a closet or in a utility room, as long as you allocate space for the venting pipe. The included remote thermostat and the 6-foot power cord make it easy to set the temperature from a few feet away, which is a practical touch if you've ever had to climb up on a roof or crawl under a tank to adjust a dial. On the other side of the coin, if you live in a rented property, lack a propane line, or simply aren't comfortable running a PVC vent through your home's exterior, you'll probably want to skip this one. The venting requirement isn't just a recommendation, it's a code-mandated safety measure. Trying to cheat that with a makeshift solution could create carbon monoxide risks that far outweigh any money saved on the unit itself. Similarly, if your household's hot water demand regularly exceeds 2 simultaneous fixtures, think a family of 4 with multiple showers running at once, you may find the 6.6 GPM ceiling a bit tight, forcing you to either accept cooler water at the tail end of a shower or add a second unit, which quickly erodes the cost advantage. Now let's talk about the practical strengths that actually matter once the unit is installed. First, the endless hot water claim isn't just marketing fluff. It's the result of a condensing heat exchanger that extracts more heat from the propane flame than a traditional non-condensing model. In real-world use, that means when you turn the tap on, the water heats up almost instantly, and you never have to wait for the tank to rebuild pressure. For households that do a lot of laundry or have back-to-back showers during busy mornings, that responsiveness can shave a few minutes off the routine and eliminate the dreaded cold burst that some older tankless models produce. Second, the high efficiency and low NOx output are not just environmental buzzwords. Because the unit recovers heat from exhaust gases, it uses less propane per gallon of hot water compared to a standard tank or a non-condensing tankless heater. Over the course of a year, that efficiency can offset the higher upfront price, especially if you have a relatively low usage pattern. The low NOx rating also helps you stay within local emissions regulations, which is a subtle but important factor if your city imposes stricter air quality standards. There are, however, some trade-offs you need to keep on your radar. The venting system, while straightforward for a DIY homeowner, does require a dedicated stretch of Schedule 40 PVC that runs from the unit to an exterior vent cap. You'll need to cut through framing or run the pipe through a wall, which can add a few hours of labor and potentially a modest cost for the vent kit if it isn't included. Most reviewers mention that the installation is not a plug-and-play job, You'll likely need a licensed plumber or HVAC technician to ensure the vent complies with code. That upfront professional fee can range from $200 to $500 depending on the complexity of your home's layout, so factor that into your budget. Another practical weakness is